Alright, hi, this is Lewis. I've got a new video for you today, and this one is on the Spyderco Bug. I keep it in this presentation box that it came in because it's quite easy to lose track of this knife, as you'll see, because it is absolutely tiny. It's the smallest knife that Spyderco offer, trying to get it out of this presentation box here. It's the smallest knife that Spyderco offer, and it is, in total length when it's open, it's 3 inches long. It's a slip joint knife, so there's no mechanism, there's no locking mechanism. It's 3 inches long. The cutting edge is 1 1/8 inches long, which is 29mm. To those of us who don't work in eighths of inches, I know I don't. But yeah, 29mm cutting edge, 3 inches long. The steel that they use on this knife, it is a 3CR13 steel, which, as I understand it, is a variation of the 420 steels. It's a Spyderco variation of the 420 steel. It's not a fantastic steel. It's a little bit not as good as 440 steel. This steel is quite soft, so it won't keep an edge very well. But on the upside, I guess it's easy to sharpen. I don't know how much you'd be sharpening this little knife, because I don't know how much use you'll be getting out of this little knife. It is tiny, folded up. I mean, I can show you how small this is, but you really truly won't appreciate how small it is from pictures and videos until you actually have one sitting in your hand, because I know I couldn't appreciate how small it was just from looking up. There it is in the palm of my hand. I've got medium-sized hands, I would say, but it is still tiny even for me. This lanyard hole here, and also the famous Spyderco hole in the blade here, 5mm that in diameter, that hole, so you could put a lanyard through it, you could put it on a keychain, you could put it on a necklace, bracelet, something like that. It would just, you can keep these wherever. And because it is quite a short blade and it's only a slip joint, there's no locking mechanism, it kind of, like clicks into place and it stays open purely from the upwards pressure from you cutting down something, which means they're legal carry for the UK, which means you can put these on, if you're in the UK, you can put these on your keys or whatever, and if you need a knife, if you haven't got another UK legal knife, because there's not many of them out there, you always have this little cutter for all the small jobs, if you need to do any. It's flat ground, straight from the top, straight to the bottom. It's flat ground, it's very tiny, so you couldn't get much other grind on there. It's not too sharp, it came to me not too sharp, but this is just like a little, I wouldn't say it's a novelty, because it does have its uses. It's a very super lightweight knife. It weighs 0.4 of an ounce, which is 12 grams, and you could be wearing this around your neck or whatever, and you would completely forget it's there. Have it riding in your pocket, you completely forget it's there. Like I say, I keep mine in a little box, because it's quite hard to keep track of it otherwise. I might do an update video in the future if I put a lanyard on it or anything like that, because I might do, because it's quite hard to keep track of this sometimes if it's not in the box. But today I actually used, it's a funny story actually, I was helping my girlfriend move house, from her old house into a new house, and I actually used this cutting open a couple of boxes and cutting some tape and cord and stuff like that. And also, because they had put all their cutlery away, she actually used this to butter a sandwich and put some mayonnaise in the sandwich for me. And it held up reasonably well. It's stainless steel, so you can just wash it out. It's not too sharp, but it managed to cut some bread just fine. I know it seems a bit ridiculous, but it was the only thing we had to hand, because all the rest of the cutlery was in the boxes on the truck. So it held up to that. I mean, even if nothing else, you might have a little bit of fun with it, doing things like that. But it can be useful. If you've got one on your keys or whatever, you'll always have a knife, even if you can't have another blade on you. If you don't use it very often, you can forget it's even there, and when it comes to opening, like those the hard plastic things that kind of like hug electronic goods, that are quite hard to open. If you just break this out, you think, oh, I've got a knife on my keyring, make this easier, and you'd cut straight through it. And because it is UK legal, you can carry it in other countries as well, obviously, but it's perfectly suited for the UK because it's so tiny. Nobody is going to question you about this at all. I mean, you've got to use your common sense. You couldn't take it into a school or certain government buildings, things like that, but for the most part, nobody's going to hassle you about this at all. You can take it most places that you go. It's very sheeple friendly, this little knife. I got this from hyeny.com. I'm not a salesperson for Yanni.com. They just make, they don't make, sorry, they're a good distributor of knives in the UK. There's not many knife websites that I know of actually, but they carry quite a few products, especially from Spyderco. This is my first Spyderco knife actually, but they carry quite a lot of products and they're very good value. So I'm not a salesperson for them. They are genuinely just a good website. I'll put the link in the description as always. This one cost me £5.95 for Spyderco. I think that's pretty good value. You know, you are paying for a little bit of novelty, I guess, as well, because it is such a small knife. But if this is a bit too small for you, they do two other models in the Bug range. They do the Bumblebee, which is £7.95 from Hyeni anyway, at the time of filming, which is a little bit longer, maybe half an inch, something like that. And then you get the grasshopper, which is a full 2-inch blade, I think, something like that, and that's £11.95. So that's a bit more of a practical knife, but you wouldn't be so suited on a necklace or a key ring or anything like that. I actually have a penny here for comparison. I've forgotten about that. That's just to compare in size. But honestly, you will, you know, I was even surprised when I took it out of the little box. You know, just how small it is, because they're tiny. But tiny isn't always bad. You know, it still gets the job done, and you're not going to forget. I mean, you know, if you forget any of your other blades, you need one, and you have this on your keys or something, it's always going to be there. So it's a good little backup. If not, well, I wouldn't say a novelty, but it's a good. They can make good gifts, I suppose. On the handle here is, I mean, here you've got the Spyderco logo, and you've got on the blade says Spyderco, and then you're not going to be able to pick this up. You have to take my word for it, but it is there. And then there, I'm pretty sure it says China on the blade, on the base there. But here, I guess you could get this engraved with something that make good little gifts there. Like I say, very sheeple friendly. If you get a little message or something engraved on there, they make very good little gifts. Yeah, so you know, it's a strange little item. You're not going to use it for anything heavy duty, but I recommend them. They don't hold too much of an edge. Don't come too sharp. They're not too practical, but you know, they're fun little knives to play around with, I guess, if nothing else. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll come out with you probably with another knife review, maybe some camping videos, hiking, walking, equipment videos rather. But anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Lewis, and I will see you later.